Last week here on the channel, I showed you the England team I would take to the Euros, and well, whilst I can't do that in real life, I can do it in Football Manager. Today we start a fun little adventure. Goodbye Gareth, hello WorkTheSpace. Let's go and win ourselves a European Championship, shall we? So yes guys, we are here in Football Manager 2021 with the England squad that I have already selected, and to be honest this feels very weird. I feel like international management in Football Manager isn't a thing that I ever really do. I occasionally dabble in it in a Let's Play, but usually it's just for fun. But with the real Euro database out, I thought it would be a fun little challenge to waddle over to the European Football Championships and join the group that England have in real life. So we've got Scotland, we've got the Czech Republic, we've got Croatia, and well, today we're going to be kicking off our campaign against the first of those teams in Croatia, who sit top of the group, albeit on goal difference right now. Yeah, this is going to be fun, and I thought that we'd come into today's game and I'd be, ready and raring to go. We would have had a fantastic pre-tournament set of friendlies, and I'd have a really settled 11, and I'd be more organised than I am. It hasn't gone to plan since I've joined. Let's talk about the draws, of which there's been 3 of them. So game number 1 here was against Denmark, and we took the lead inside 4 minutes. My first game in charge, we were playing a 4-2-3-1. Jadon Sancho playing out on the right as a winger gets the first goal. You think, that's great. And then they get a sending off a minute later. Højbjerg was gone, and I, perhaps got a little bit complacent. Pickford in goal, awful in this game, to the point where I'm not even sure if he's going to be our goalkeeper for this tournament. We've been having lots and lots of goals, but defensively there are questions to be asked. Not just of us. Schmeichel there probably should have done better. Rashford reacting well though, using his pace, but we took the lead once, we took the lead twice. What happened? They scored again. It was Yusuf Poulsen, the big kind of lanky target man, the Leipzig man. He's a bit of a weapon up front, and well, he got a hat-trick in this match. We didn't really defend very well. The back 2 for this game were Maguire and Stones, and I'm not sure if I want to start either of them for the game against Croatia, purely because of this performance. They went 3-2 up. We then got a goal back through Raheem Sterling. It was Grealish on off the bench for Rashford who got the goal here. With this pre-season friendly, I did use it as an opportunity to kind of rotate around the team. And you think at 3-3, well, maybe we're going to break through and get the winner against a 10-man side. No, they scored a 4th goal whilst down a man, and we had to fight back once more, which whilst we did do, given the fact they had 10 men for half the game, it was not very good. That's perhaps the best way to describe it. This was the team that we started with here. A fairly standard 4-2-3-1. Nothing too crazy going on here, I don't think. I started Foden in the middle. He had a bit of a lacklustre game. You'll come to see that he's done okay. I mean, in this save game for, obviously, Manchester City, the season that he's had, he's only got 2 goals and 4 assists. So he's not the craziest of years, but I do feel like Phil Foden, as just a creative player, is one of our best. Of course, you may have noticed Sancho started out on the right. He had a good game, as did Rashford on the left. Harry Kane was very, very quiet. And in this match, Calvert-Lewin and Grealish came on off the bench to get goals. I think Calvert-Lewin in Football Manager is a really good player, certainly one we might look towards using. And of course, Jack Grealish came on off the bench for Rashford and got his first ever England goal, which was a good sign of progress. But with these 3 friendlies, I did want to rotate things around. I went into it thinking the 4-2-3-1 was kind of the system of choice. I left it perhaps a little more apprehensive that truly was, the direction I wanted to go in going forward. So the next game we had here was against Poland, and you can see for this game, I decided to go to a 4-3-3. I wanted to experiment a little bit, just see what was working for us. And in this game, we dominated it, but we conceded goals again. Pickford, he's been awful. He's been awful pre-season. He's had an awful league season as well for Everton. You can see he only actually played half their league matches, to the point where currently, I think Dean Henderson is the man I'm going to have start this kind of first international game against Croatia. Amazingly, a goalkeeper playing themselves out of contention here against Poland, a team that we have to be winning against. So much like the previous game, we started this game off really, really well. It was great to get an early goal, and I thought that might help relax us in. It was Greenwood with it, Grealish with the assist. Of course, for this match, we did rotate things around a little bit, and with the pre-season and pre-tournament friendlies, I did choose to play better opposition. That said, from this position where we're 2-0 up, we have to be killing off this game. and we didn't. And Poland caught us out on the break twice. You can see in this game, we had Chilwell and Alexander-Arnold playing fullback positions. I think for the first game, I'm going to start Walker and I'm going to start Luke Shaw. They looked particularly lost when it came to defending there. And well, in the second half, they scored that through Berezinski. I mean, I don't think I can blame Pickford for that one, to be fair, but at the same time, it was a massively disappointing performance. We were wasteful. Obviously, good to see Calvert-Lewin get a goal, but the fact he got a goal and ended up on a 6.9 gives you an idea of perhaps how this friendly went for him. Elsewhere, you may have noticed Bellingham played a role as a box-to-box midfielder, giving him his first taste of international football. Elsewhere, Grealish not playing out on the left in this game. He started down the middle and had a good game. Elsewhere at the back, I started with Mings and Tomori. Of course, Tomori's not even in the preliminary squad that Gareth Southgate's given. I think he's been bloody brilliant this year for Milan, and he looked pretty good in this game here. In our final game before the Euros kick off, we took on Italy. We went 2-0 down in this game. We were playing a 4-4-2, trying something experimental. Keane, as you can see there, scored at the near post. A lot of space found in the wide areas, it felt like, with the 4-4-2. I had the tactical instruction kind of force opponents out wide, thinking that would help us out a little bit, stay compact in the middle. And frankly, it didn't really work out for us. You can see here, for our first goal of a comeback, Kane got it, which was nice. It all came from Dean Henderson's distribution to Rashford, which was really good to see. I did end up changing the system away from the 4-4-2 here and just kind of experimenting a little bit. But Calvert-Lewin has been really, really impressive so far. He started out on the right-hand side in the second half when we brought him on off the bench. Elsewhere, Henderson had an okay game. He's not wowed me. Kane, obviously, good to see him get on the score sheet. He was very, very quiet in pre-season, but ultimately, I don't know. It's a 2-2 draw. We've had more shots than them. We've been a little more wasteful. Italy, you'd have to say, are one of the better teams in Europe. Of course, with the high turnover of players in terms of the rotation that we did and subbing players on and off, it's hard to draw too many conclusions from these friendlies. But undoubtedly, when you kind of line up the games of Denmark, Poland, Italy, you expect to get a win. We didn't muster one. We scored 8, conceded 8. Not ideal. So just to give you a little bit of a taster of the 3 different options I think we're going to kind of play going into this tournament. I'm sure there'll be small changes made as we progress through. This is the first system we have. It is a 4-2-3-1. With this system, I think I'm going to start Grealish over Rashford in the wide areas. Rashford looked really good coming on off the bench, but Grealish impressed me, not only when he played out wide, but when he played in the middle. It also means that if mid-game I want to switch, I have got an option to do that without having to make too many subs. If I do choose to play this system from the start, I think I would end up bringing in Declan Rice to play defensive mid. He's really, really good in Football Manager. He's had a pretty good year for West Ham in this save game, and he's just a really good player who I think we can use as a pillar at the core of our team to win the ball back and get it forward to more creative players kind of running on ahead. With all of these systems, I'm kind of looking to lean into the fact that we are going to be the favourites in the majority of our games. We have overwhelming quality going forward, and that is something that I want to make use of. Of course, defensively, there are question marks that I still have over the team. And while the final system we have is a 4-4-2, nothing too crazy going on here, but in games where we're perhaps chasing a little bit, in games where I want to get on a second striker, Calvert-Lewin has impressed me so far. He's got 5 goals in 5 for England in the save game, and he's finishing look really, really impressive. And I think alongside Kane, they're 2 players very strong, very capable of holding up the play, but also 2 very competent goal scorers, which is really nice. Interesting to know that with this 4-4-2, I'm currently playing Grealish as a wide playmaker. That's not a role that gets enough love and care in Football Manager, but yeah, I think Grealish is really good in FM. I think he's really good in real life, and I think this is a role that actually suits him really well. In terms of our opposition today, we're taking on a Croatia team who you can see here. Their key player is Livakovic, who is their goalkeeper. He is actually transferred to Ajax in this save game, which is a little bit interesting. If we just look at their pre-season, they played 1 game against Armenia. The formation they played was a 4-2-3-1 wide, although they did change it up a little bit. In terms of, if we just look at our team reports and our analyst report, just for a little bit of a breakdown of our formation. When I play the 4-2-3-1, we concede a lot of clear-cut chances against us. We tend to get caught out a little bit. And so what I did with the system is I changed up some of the centre mid roles. I've still got some question marks over Jordan Henderson. I think he's really, really good, but I don't know if he's quite competent defensively to kind of be able to cover up for Mason Mount, who I think has to start for us for our first game, but as part of a midfield too, I do have some reservations over his defensive ability. Elsewhere in the team with this 4-2-3-1, which I think we are going to start things with because I want to persist with it, you'll notice that the wing-backs are set to defend. That, again, a reactionary change based on the fact that we were just giving up far too many kind of opportunities. I think our attacking talent going forward isn't an attacking group that rely on the wing-backs to make overwhelming and overlapping runs to kind of make work. Obviously, elsewhere in the team, Foden is going to start today as the advanced playmaker. I'm hoping he's going to run the show for us. He has tremendous quality. I feel like he and Mason Mount and Grealish, not dissimilar players. You could argue they're all competing for the same spots. I guess the good news is if one of them doesn't perform, we've got the likes of Sterling we can bring in, Rashford we can bring in, potentially even at centre mid we could bring in someone like Bellingham if we really wanted to. But yes, for this first game, we're going to play the 4-2-3-1. A few changes made since those pre-season friendlies, and hopefully we're going to get off to a good little performance against Croatia. A Croatia team who, of course, beat England somewhat infamously a few years ago in a World Cup semi-final. Unfortunately, they couldn't dispatch of France in the final. We here are going to be looking to get a little bit of revenge. The Croatia team, a little bit different to the one that England took on way back when, but of course Luka Modric still present as captain. Hopefully our players are going to want to get a little bit of revenge, and well, we're going to kick off our first ever Euro 2020 game here as England manager. Please don't draw it. Just no draws, please, Football Manager gods. Modric over a corner early on is never a particularly good look, but it's going to be headed away here. Can Harry Kane get forward there? Sancho latches onto it, going to use his pace to spring the counter-attack. It's a free and free at the back. Sancho gets past one, gets past two, decides to go all the way. That was not the right decision. Livakovic saves. So for today's episode, we're just going to play the one match, this game here against Croatia. Next episode, we'll do a double header. But I wanted to discuss what happened prior to us arriving at the tournament today, kind of set the scene. Of course, if you want to know more about the England team I've selected, check out the England video I did already, and well, check out Phil Foden, because he's bloody good, isn't he? Mason Mount threads him through. The two men who I think in real life, Gareth Southgate will kind of pick one or the other. I think it's unlikely that the two start in a midfield duo, but we're going to attempt to make it work in Football Manager, and while Mount had acres of space, lays it off to Phil Foden, who hits it with his sweet left foot into the bottom corner. I want to start celebrating. After the kind of pre-tournament friendlies that I've played, I have absolutely no reason to celebrate. I have no reason to believe we're going to hold on to this lead. Anyway, they've got Lovren at the back, so maybe that's a reason to believe we can get more goals here, although that ball through to Kramaric was superb. And then it's took past Henderson, who didn't look very convincing in goal. He's been beaten at the near post there. I'm not going to claim to be a goalkeeping coach, but last time I checked, goalkeeper shouldn't be beaten there. I think Lovren took my words against him personally. Kramaric finds it, and I mean, I talked about the defence. I talked about Maguire and Stones and the fact that in the first friendly against Denmark, they weren't very good. I thought, you know what? They're the two players of quality. They're the two players I'm going to put faith in. Completely misplaced. I should have started Tomori. I thought we were going to get into half-time at 1-1, but right before it, a couple of minutes before it, there is a highlight here. Is there a late goal one way or the other? Sancho with the ball here. Of course, Harry Kane, not the paciest of strikers. We're really relying on players around him to make surging runs on ahead. Well, we're going to be looking at this here as, oh my word, Jackie Grealish out on that left-hand side, dropped Marcus Rashford for him, or should I say Sir Marcus Rashford for him. And, well, allegedly, with good reason. I've just realised Jadon Sancho is white in the 3D match engine. I can't explain that. What I can explain is that finish. He has hammered that home into the top corner. That, my friends, was a really good finish. And that puts us 2-1 up at the break. Let's try and hold on to it now. So at half-time, I'm just gonna tell the lads I'm pleased. You've done well, boys. Keep it going. I want to win the first game of the group stage. Of course, with the expanded Euros format that exists, there are teams that finish third place in groups of 4 that make it to the knockouts, which I'm personally not a big fan of, but it does mean that even if we do completely screw up things here, we should have a second chance. That said, I mean, if we come third in our group, we don't deserve to make it through. We should be finishing top of this group, in my opinion, and well, I thought Sancho was about to help us on our merry way. But after that finish, and after some of the wastefulness I've seen from him, I think I'm going to take him off. I'm going to take him off. I'm going to bring in Raheem Sterling. And you know what? Elsewhere, I'm going to bring in Calvert-Lewin up front. Harry Kane has been absent today. Calvert-Lewin, when we've called upon him, has been really, really solid. Okay, I think it's time to get shouty with the boys. We've got a corner here. Grealish whips in towards the near post. It's going to be headed away. Can Mason Mount get there first? He can. With 15 minutes left, there's got to be a temptation to start time wasting and starting to, master the dark arts of just killing off this match. But at the same time, I want a third goal. I don't believe in our defence. Henderson, Grealish, already 1 goal to his name. Look for Shaw on the overlap, or just go back to Maguire. I guess that works. With the wing-backs on defence, you can see there's definitely more hesitancy to overcommit going forward. I actually think that's pretty useful, though, given how we've been caught out on the break repeatedly. As well, I thought there was about to be a scrappy opportunity. It is actually cleared away here by Croatia, but back with Jack Grealish. Shaw on the overlap there. Options in the middle. Can he pick someone out? Sterling's there! I mean, Raheem Sterling's heading is nothing special, but it takes a special header to miss the target completely there. And so immediately there's a highlight to them. Stones gets it away. Grealish latches onto it. Go on, my son. Calvert-Lewin to his left, fresh off the bench. What can the number 20 do? Edge of the 18-yard box. He's been fouled. That is outside the area. We don't need to go to VAR here. It's outside the area. It's not a penalty. Why waste my time, Football Manager? Waste of time. If we score the free kick, it's not a waste of time, I suppose. Who is over this? I think it'll be Mount. It is. Whips it. Whips it too much. Also, in the Euros, are they really having the referees behind the goals? I remember when that was trialled for a bit in the Europa League and maybe even the Champions League. It's a load of rubbish. You've got video refs now. We don't need a 5th and a 6th official behind the goals. Grealish, Calvert-Lewin latches onto it, strikes it home. Great finish, and Jack Grealish is running the show. Out on the left-hand side, Calvert-Lewin's finish was tidy. Would it be controversial to drop Harry Kane for the next game? Little free kick taken short. Grealish, quick one touch straight into the pass. Weighted perfectly. Calvert-Lewin strikes it away. And, at 3-1 up, I'm going to breathe a small sigh of relief. I think we're over the line here, even if defensively we've not been great. Foden, please square it. He does square it. I don't believe it. We've seen a player square a ball in Football Manager. This never happens. It's like an eclipse, but rarer. It's awful defending again. 4-1. If Gareth Southgate gets a 4-1 win against Croatia, whilst it won't undo the wounds of the last World Cup, it'll make me feel a little bit better about things. Calvert-Lewin with the completely needless chip finish. Foden, Calvert-Lewin, Grealish looked absolutely top drawer in this game. And with that, we go top of the group, and hopefully, maybe, that affords us the opportunity in the next couple of games to be a little bit more experimental with our starting lineups. The Football Ramble want to interview me. I don't want to talk to them, though. I just want to go and party the night away. Jack Grealish picked up man of the match. 8 key passes for this man. He's been very, very good playing out on the left-hand side for us. Got his 2nd international goal there. And I think he's going to be pretty important to how we play in this Let's Play. So we'll be back next episode for a double header of the Euros. We've got Scotland and then we've got the Czech Republic, who incidentally, I'm actually going to be going and seeing playing England at Wembley. I'm really excited to see some live football. So hopefully I'm going to set a tone for the match that I get to see with my own flesh and blood in a little under a month's time. That will be coming your way tomorrow, for those of you wondering. And I do envisage a little bit of experimentation. We can afford to change things around. We've got a big squad. But all in all, not a bad first match, if I might say so myself. Anyway, that is going to wrap up things from me today. What did you think of my England team? What did you think of the pre-season friendlies? Am I a bottler? How can I help my team be a little more defensively astute? Let me know down in the comments. We will be back again with episode 2 very, very soon. I'd like to know what you thought of the editing to this video, just keeping it a little shorter and snappier in terms of the format as well. As I said at the top of things, I don't do international management in Football Manager. Kind of approaching this, I'm just trusting my gut to come up with a good way to lay this out for videos. But I feel like at the end of recording this, I can sit here and go, yeah, actually, I think this went pretty well. Maybe that's just the 4-1 win going to my head and I'm just looking at that instead of the video as a whole. But no, I think it's been okay. If you think the video's been okay, leave it a like, leave it a comment. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. We're taking down the Scottish. We're taking down the Czech Republic. Milan Baroš and his boys. We're going to unleash one hell of a beating on them. I'll see you guys then. I'm out.